Hello and welcome back to the Cartoonist Studio. Well, actually no, I'm back in the kitchen again. I think I just like red. Anyway, this week's video, we're still on the theme of how I produce a children's book, the Big Old Bear children's book. And I was going to do another illustration, but I thought, you know what? Maybe it'd be a good idea to introduce you to the characters. Now, I know there are quite a few of you out there who have gone out and purchased the previous Big Old Bear book, and I thank you very much for that. That is great for the support. But there are those of you who don't know about their characters, and seeing as this is a book about how I produce a book using these characters, it might be useful to do that. So what I'll be doing is I'll be penciling it, explaining the character's personality traits, inking it with a slightly speeded up with a little bit of music, and then at the very end I'll come back and have another little chat, because during the video I realised I forgot to say all the important things like subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And also, all importantly, thanking you for your time and goodbye, which I've just said now, but I'll say at the very end. Don't say it now because it's just going to confuse. If not me, then you, but probably more likely me. So without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? Okay, so without further ado, let's meet the characters. So I guess we start off with the star of the show himself, Big Old Bear. Now he's just a big, lovable lump of a character. You do anything for anyone. He's very quiet. Not so much keep himself to himself, but he's just there for everyone. Everyone goes to him. Just soaks it all up, takes it on his big old shoulders, shall we say. And he's kind of like, when I say like the Charlie Brown of the characters, I don't mean that he's a big loser or anything else like that. It's just that he's the glue that holds it all together. He has got a personality, of course he has, but maybe not as brash or outgoing as some of the other ones. He's just quietly in the background. Everyone defers to him. Everyone needs him. They all think they're all independent and great. But when it comes down to it, Big Old Bear's the one. Big Old Bear's the one they all go to. Right, so that's pretty much him. Not much else to say about him except the fact that this cartoon... Oh, should we give him some eyes so we can see what he's bumping into? There we go. Yeah, not a great deal else you can say about him, really. Except the fact that without him, the cartoon just would not exist. The stories could not exist. Although he doesn't actually do a huge amount. The other characters seem to sort of be the star of the show. He is the story. So there you go. There's Big Old Bear. And we'll just quickly ink that. And we'll move on to the next one. Now, let's go and do a bit of speeded up inking with some music. Okay, now we're going to the second one. Now, he's my actual favourite. He, she, I don't know what it is. I think it's a he. It'll be a he. He's my favourite. Doesn't have a name. In fact, none of them do. He's just Goose. We start off with the egg shape. Bring it down like so. And make the general sort of bird shape for him, should we say. He's got a little neckerchief. So I think this character is really eccentric. I mean, I guess he's my favourite because I really like eccentric characters, and he is really eccentric. It's a goose with a top hat, which is one thing, but then I top it off by giving him a little flower. I don't know what the significance is. It just seems to work. I love drawing the wings of these birds. I think I'm the only one that does it this way. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I could be wrong on that one. But like I say, he's a real eccentric. If ever there's anything oddball going on, it's going to be the goose that does it. Also, I like to give him wellies. Wellington boots. I don't know what you call them around the rest of the world, but they're those things you wear when it's raining. And I guess because it's a bird, maybe they like water. I'll give him Wellingtons. Maybe he's got an aversion to water. Who knows? But he's a little oddball character. So I'll just tighten that up properly and put some circles around there. So yeah, so there's the goose. Maybe we'll give him a second wing up there. A bit of a kind of a thumb type thing. So we have him, character number 2. Extremely eccentric. Maybe even a wacky inventor, I guess he might be, but if there's anything unusual going on, he's going to be the one smack in the middle of it. There won't be a picture without the goose in it. So there's the second one. Should we move on to the third? I think we should. And now for a bit of speeded up drawing and some music. Now the owl is very pompous, shall we say, full of his own self-importance. But like most people who are full of their own self-importance, he really has very little to say. But I do like him all for that. He's harmless. I've worked with many an owl in my life. In fact, I think I've worked with one now. He's absolutely convinced that everything he says is right. And there's no point arguing with him. He's not nasty, he just won't listen. He'll just ignore you as that and almost give you a pitying look. And that's the same with Al. So anything that needs to be done, he's in the middle, whether he's invited or not. So in this one, just to prove his pomposity, we'll give him something here that says plans. There you have it. That shows that he believes that anything that needs to be done, it's him that has to do it. We've all met them. We probably all work with them. Now the feet, although I draw all the feet within this shape, they then go to the individualness of the feet, shall we say. And so his would be more like this. And you can't really see much of it because it's hidden behind the plans, but we'll just put the bottom part of his clawed foot there and one there. That's that done. Oh, actually, I forget the tail feathers. Then just these little markings that a lot of owls seem to have. So there you go. There's the pompous owl. Seriously pompous owl. Right. Bit of a thumb? Yes. Okay, there's the owl. On to the next. And now for a bit of speeded up inking and some gently swaying music. Now these two are the little mice. They are just childhood, I guess, more what I remember little boys to be. I'm sure there are little girls like this. I guess they were called tomboys, weren't they, back in the day? But they would just get up to and into absolutely anything. So whenever you see these two characters in there, they're brothers. Whenever you see these two characters anywhere in the pages, in the illustrations, they're usually up to something. Usually fairly harmless. They're not wicked. They're not troublesome. They're just interested in just about anything you can imagine. They're actually based largely on my son-in-law and his brother, because they were like this. In fact, if they have got names, although I never use them in the book, if they have got names, I guess these two would be Craig and Josh. Now, a lot of their wickedness is done purely with the expression. They are twins. And so you can't, all right, I put a larger eye around there. That doesn't necessarily mean that he will always have that. It doesn't differentiate, shall we say, between anything. So we'll have this one sitting on something, maybe, I don't know, a stone of some sort. So yeah, two brothers, very wicked. If ever there's any trouble, but there is a book that I'm looking to write about Big Old Bear. I've got a few ideas for Big Old Bear, but if there are, that they are going to be the stars of maybe not the next one, but maybe the one after, or maybe the one after that. Yeah, I'm doing the second. Well, this is the second one. Then there's that one right there. So I have ideas for, in total at the moment, 5 Big Old Bear books. And these will be the star of probably book number 4 or 5. I'm really not sure. It'll all come to me. So there they are, the two wicked little brotherly mice. No real names, but if they had to have names, they would be Craig and Josh. Don't tell me which is which. They just are. Okay, on to the next. Now for some speeded up drawing and some suitably mountainous music. And now on to the next. Now this little character has developed. Originally, it was just created for as a kind of a love interest to Big Old Bear. Big Old Bear had an unrequited love of this character, and it does seem strange because he's just a little rabbit. But I guess that's why it's the unrequited love bit. There's no way that a bear could have a relationship with a rabbit, but he does. He's got a soft spot for the rabbits, and but over the years that just became pointless. I mean, you're not going to have that in a children's book. And then the one day I drew a picture of the rabbit fast asleep, and it was the Kalashnikov kid. There you go. She's been mentioned. She looked at it and she said, "He's so lazy." Well, that's not what she called it, but she said, "He's so lazy," or "She's so lazy." And I thought, yeah, that might be a nice thing. Just have it as a lazy little character. Fast asleep all the time. Not all the time, but generally. Just that's its thing. Very, very laid back. Very much like Big Old Bear, which I guess is the connection there. They're kindred spirits, if you like. Both fast asleep. And so there you have A very lazy and very laid-back rabbit. The secret love interest of Big Old Bear. They're not in children's books, if you don't mind. There you go. There's the rabbit. On to the next. And now for some speeded up artwork and some slow music. And now on to the final two characters. I'll put them both on the same page, as they share one thing in common, is the fact that they're not major characters. Would I like that? Let's start that again, shall we? Yeah, they're not major characters in the respect that if something's going on, they're not really involved in it, shall we say. They're there observing. So the first one is a little bird. I don't know, maybe it's a sparrow, maybe it's a thrush. I don't know what it is, but it's just a little bird, usually flying around. It can also be standing, usually perched atop Big Old Bear's head. Yeah, and you'll often, the point of both of these characters, and you'll often hear me mention it, is with the books, it's not just the story. There's a certain amount of interaction that you can have with the child that you're reading it to. So you can say, you know, what's the goose doing? How many petals are there on the goose's flower? What's Big Old Bear holding? And all that kind of, the usual kind of stuff that you can do. But with these characters, you can also sort of say, right, where's the bird? And where's the worm? So it's very much like a Where's Wally or a Where's Waldo, depending on what part of the world you come from. And yeah, so that's what these two characters are for. They're observing, but they're also to be found somewhere on the picture. And the second character, easiest to draw, just that. I'll put him in the grass this time, but he can be anywhere. I mean, he's been popping out of apples and all sorts of things. There you are. That's it. That's the two. Once again, no names. So that is all the characters. Just go away and ink this one like I have all the others. And there you go. There's the characters from every single book of Big Old Bear. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now. And now for some speed up drawing and a bit of music. Was that fun? Did you enjoy that? I hope so. Well, like I said at the beginning of the video when I was in the kitchen, and now at the end, now I'm back in the studio, if you do enjoy this kind of content, then please hit the notification bell. Subscribe, like, when that drop down menu comes with the bell, hit that and they'll send you every bit of drivel that I produce. And that'll be nice, and share it amongst your socials, you know, Facebook, Instagram, whichever ones that you're on. And please keep coming back for more. And on that point, thank you once again for your valuable time. It means so much to me to have you along. And I'll see you on the next one, which maybe next week, more likely be 2 weeks' time. So until then, thank you once again, and goodbye for now.